The usual journey from Downing Street to Parliament on a Wednesday, but these are highly unusual circumstances. Will the Sue Gray inquiry into alleged parties in government make this one of the last times Boris Johnson arrives here in a prime ministerial motorcade? Certainly in the Commons, the opposition wanted to convince us his position is now impossible.
The Ministerial Code says that ministers who knowingly mislead Parliament will be expected to offer their resignation. Does the Prime Minister believe that applies to him?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, of course, but let me tell the House that I think he's inviting a question about an investigation which, as you know, Mr. Speaker, I can't comment.
The reality is that we now have the shameful spectacle of a Prime Minister of the United Kingdom being subject to a police investigation. Unable to lead the country, incapable of doing the right thing, and every day his cabinet fail to speak out, they become more and more complicit.
Prime Minister!
He's a lawyer, not a leader. That's the truth.
The good news for Boris Johnson is that none of his own MPs breathed a word of criticism. In fact, they were noisily loyal.
We've got the big calls right, and in particular, I am getting on with the job.
Not that that put off the leader of the SNP at Westminster.
How much longer will Tory MPs let this go on for? How much more damage are they willing to do? It is time to get this over with. Show the Prime Minister the door.
No comment from many involved in all this at the moment, whether that's Dominic Cummings or Lulu Little, the interior designer who was briefly at the Downing Street birthday party for the Prime Minister. Loyal MPs were easier to find today, also saying not very much.
Well, we're all waiting for the inquiry to be released. Many of my colleagues are withholding judgment until the findings are revealed.
But even though there's a police investigation now, that took it to a whole new level.
Well, I think, again, we need to see what the police and the investigation have found.
An early morning run with the dog is one way he can escape the daily pressures, at least for a moment. But will he be able to escape the consequences of the Sue Gray report?
Well, Andy's going to be with me throughout the programme here. Boris Johnson isn't there, the lights are on, he's not yet at home, he's still in Parliament. He's waiting for this report, we're waiting for this report. Where is it?
Well, Sian, it's not as if it's got to get very far. It's got to get from the Cabinet Office, which is a building just there, to Downing Street. Now, that's obviously not the issue. We are told by Downing Street they haven't got it yet. We're told that it has been completed and is therefore with the Cabinet Office. There are obviously some issues maybe around HR, having to ensure that people's identity is not identified in the wrong way. There are presumably issues to be gone through with lawyers, and as we know, there is the whole issue of the Metropolitan Police inquiry, so everyone has to be satisfied before it's handed over that in some way this report is not going to interfere with that. Now, in terms of the way the choreography is supposed to work, when that inquiry is handed over, the Sue Gray inquiry is handed over to Downing Street, they are going to look at it for a period, we don't know exactly how long. They will then publish it to opposition MPs, to Parliament, to the rest of us, so that people can get a bit of a look at it, and then the Prime Minister is due to go to the Commons to make a statement. So the whole time that the actual report is delayed in being handed over to Downing Street, that whole process gets pushed further and further back. So it doesn't look like we're going to get it tonight,
Okay.
maybe tomorrow, but we are all still waiting.